What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, well, welcome to my channel. It's your boy Goyofi. In this video, I'm going to be going over a step-by-step process on how I built my statue display cases, as well as share with you guys what materials were used and what tools I used for this project. Now, if you're like me, you've fallen down a deep rabbit hole of statue collecting. I told my wife I was only going to get one statue, and now I got another one on the way. So now I got to rush and build a statue display case, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to show you guys how it's done. I've spent countless hours surfing the internet trying to find a decent display case. There was nothing out there that I liked, so I realized I'm going to need to make my own display cases. Now, before I go any further, this is not my idea. I came across a guy on YouTube under the name The Back Collector. He came up with the idea of taking a garage shelf and slapping a couple panels on the side, and I absolutely loved the idea. It matched the aesthetic I was going for, so I moved forward and made my own display case. Also made some changes that I'll share with you guys. I'm not a woodworker in any way, but I hope to continue to make these display cases and down the road make some improvements that I think a statue collector would appreciate. I'm gonna leave a list of all the links of the material I used in the descriptions down below. Please give me a big thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this, and comment down below what you guys would put on this display case, and let's get into this video. Just real quick guys, I want to go over the list of materials needed for this project. I'm going to begin with the garage shelf. Unfortunately, the black one that I ordered is currently unavailable, but with the link down in the description, it will navigate you to a similar blue one with the same measurements. I recommend spraying the top a metallic black. But one improvement I want to make with these display cases is add a half sheet of plywood to raise the statue so it could sit flush with the top of the display case. I'll show you later in the video what I mean by that, but for now I'm gonna get started with this list. Okay guys, here's that garage shelf I was talking about. It's 40 inches wide and it has a load capacity of 1,000 pounds, 2-tier. The other one I saw that's similar to this one has a 3-tier shelving unit, which will actually be better for you guys if you guys have a lot of other attachments to the statue, but this one is the one I ordered. Okay, next on the list, I made a run to Lowe's, and this is that back wall paneling that you can purchase. If you're making one display case, one of these sheets is fine. This is the 48 inch by 96 inch. So you can make the side panels and the front panels just with one of these boards. Next on my list is these zinc-plated mounting brackets. This is to hold the panels onto the trim that you're going to be applying together. So here are the measurements for it. It comes in a pack of 4s, so what you're going to want to do if you do this display case is order 1 pack per side. So you're going to do 3 sides, so you're going to need 3 packs for this. Really cheap. Next stop, you're going to want to run to Home Depot. Now this is the material I used for the trim, the prime MDF board. These are the measurements for the board. One thing I experienced with this and with the back wall paneling that I ordered was if you're picking this out at Home Depot, make sure you pick one that isn't damaged. When I was going through the pieces, it had water damage, and then just when I thought I found one that was good, I would go to pull it and it actually split. So I got real lucky with the ones I had for my display project. Ended up being fine, so it worked out pretty good. But just be careful with what you pick out. You don't want to take these 8-footers home and realize you got to load it back in the truck because you purchased a damaged piece. So one thing that's gonna also hold the paneling, not just from the brackets but from the middle going down, is these wood screws that I bought. Here are the measurements. It's a number 6 screw by 5 by 8 inch zinc plated at $1.38. Okay, next on the list are these number 8 1/2-inch Phillips head sharp point lath screws, 260 in a pack. Next is the caulking I used from the trim to the paneling so I can have a seamless look. Before you use this caulking, what you're going to want to do though is also get this liquid nail. Now this liquid nail is to apply on the sides of the paneling that's going to sit with the trim so you can have a solid bonding between the panel and the trim. So you're going to want this. Okay, so that's everything that you're going to want to get for the shelves. One link I couldn't get on here was the paint that I use for these display cases. I've used many paints. I've used Home Depot paints, I've used Lowe's paints, I used Ace Hardware paints, and there is no better paint than Sherwin-Williams paint. I recommend using the highest paint quality for your display cases, especially because you spent all this money on the statue and building this display case. Sherwin-Williams, I'll get you guys the code I used for the paint, the black that I used. I'm gonna jump into the garage and show you guys the tools that I used. So let's get to the garage. I made my way into the garage. It's a little chilly out, so I had to throw on a jacket. Normally I kick on some music, but I don't want no copy strikes against me, so we're gonna have to work in silence this time. Now, before we move forward, I wanna talk about safety. Please grab any safety gear you need to protect yourself from the equipment we'll be using in this video, such as safety glasses or gloves. We wanna complete this job safely, so get what you need. Just real quick, we're gonna go over the tools I'll be using for this project. I got my miter saw right here, and over here we got the circular saw, some drill bits, impact adapter, some tape, and the drill bit we'll be using. I'll show you what to do with that here in a little bit. We got the drill gun. Over here we have the caulking gun with some caulk in it, liquid nail, tape measure, paint rollers for the paint roller. We want a speed square. Now, we're not gonna be leveling anything, but I use this for the small side panel pieces as my straight edge, and we got a longer straight edge for the front panel. I've already unboxed the garage shelf. I wanna share with you guys what comes inside the box before we assemble it. We got our shelves right here, long rails and short rails, some plastic bumper pieces that we're gonna put in the inside of the posts, directions, our wooden hammer, and our vertical posts. These are the plastic pieces that come with it that you want to pop in. Now I'm going to show you guys how quick and easy it is to assemble this garage shelf. Before I get started, I want to show you guys, so this is the post. You got your holes inside the post. You want to make sure that that small cut inside the post is facing down, so it has something for the rails. You're going to want to put these rivets inside of the post, as so. I'm going to go for it, and you're going to want to slide your rivets inside post of the hole, lock it into place just like that. You got the rails inside of the post. Now it's very easy to get confused what side is right, side up for this rail. So you want this flat piece of the rail to be up, so you have something to have the shelf sit on. So make sure that that's up. See how it has a little angle right here and it's flat. You're gonna take your hammer, take another post just like that. We're gonna take our long rail now, same height. We're gonna grab another post. Okay, now that we got the bottom rails installed, we can put the top rails into place. And just like that, we assemble the shelf in no time. Now, before you guys throw away the cardboard, I found that these are perfect to paint the panels on. So I would save these. The next thing we're gonna do is get our measurements. We're gonna wanna make the side panels first, because the side panels are gonna add width to the front panel. So then we can get our final measurement on the front panel, and then we can assemble the front panel last. This is where we get our tape measure. I moved the shelf to the side so you could see. Okay, you're gonna wanna get the side measurements. We'll go horizontal and vertical, so 18, just as described in the description. Now this is roughly 36¼ high, but we're gonna be assembling the panels on this, so we can adjust the height. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but we want to stick around 36 inches, and that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, with the measurements that I collected, I'm gonna make my way to the miter saw, and I'm gonna begin with the vertical cuts. That was that 36 inches, and then following after, take some measurements on the horizontal cuts. Okay, now that we have our 36-inch vertical pieces cut, we can now cut the horizontal pieces. Now, if you remember, we had 18 inches horizontally. What we're gonna wanna do to get these horizontal cuts is combine these two vertical pieces together. Now, if you remember, we have 18 inches, and we're gonna wanna subtract these two pieces together. So this is 5 inches. So we're gonna go 18 minus 5. Our horizontal cut is gonna be 13 inches. Okay, now that we have our 36 vertical pieces cut and our 13 horizontal cut, we're gonna be using the tape. I'll show you guys what to do with that in a minute. There's the drill bit, we got our mounts, our screws, we got our drill gun, and we got our impact with the Phillips impact adapter. And this is when we're gonna wanna use our speed square. So here's our cut pieces. Here's that water damage I told you guys to be careful about. This one isn't too bad. It doesn't make it warp or come up or anything, so this is fine, but anything worse than that, I probably wouldn't have got. What we're gonna wanna do is, this is the finished side. We're gonna want to flip these over. We're gonna put them into place. Now, I've already screwed my pilot holes, but I'll show you guys how to do that in this process here. Okay, so now we have our trim piece close together and ready to mount. This is when the speed square comes into play, so we're gonna wanna start with one side. Now, before I mount this, what I wanna do is get the inside measurement for the post, because we want the panel to fit perfectly inside that post measurement, so we have a seamless look. This right here, we're just over 15 inches, so as long as we stay within that range, we should be fine. So we're gonna square it up from where my other hole is to this hole. We are under 15 inches, so we're okay. This panel will fit perfectly inside those posts. I want you to take the drill bit, we're gonna take our screw, and we're gonna take the measurement, and we're gonna measure the screw on this drill bit. We're gonna get our piece of tape. We're gonna go right where we marked it, just like that. And now we're ready to drill our pilot holes. I already made my pilot holes, but I want to show you guys how to do this. So what I'm gonna want to do is, here's our mounting bracket. I got the bubbles up. We're gonna want to bring this as close as to the inside vertical trim piece as possible, and also on the edge here, because we still got to put that panel in this window right here and in this channel. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to tighten up the angle. So we're sitting at a good 90. I put this here and I just put my finger. You're gonna pinch down. We're still at a 90. Take your drill bit. Put your fasteners in and just listen to that perfect sound. And just like that, we're squared up. So just repeat that step for all 4 sides. I'm gonna get them fastened real quick and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, next we're gonna test fit our side pieces and make sure they align with the garage storage shelf. And just like that, we have a flawless look. So this is what I mean by sticking around 36 inches. You can see the top of the garage shelf. See that little ledge right there? So we have wiggle room to move. We can do that later. Okay, so now that we have the trim to the side panels completed, we're gonna wanna jump to the panel that we have over there. We're gonna measure the inside trim piece, cut it out, and assemble the panels onto the trim piece so we can complete the side panels. Trim ready for measurements to cut out my panels. I'm gonna measure from here, from that end to this end. We're looking at 33. Okay, and from this side, we're gonna wanna stay within that 15-inch measurement from the inside of the posts. Put my measuring tape off to the edge right here, and 14 inches is just a little outside. I think I'm gonna stick to that number. So we're gonna take our 14 inches by 33 and make a cut here on this panel. Okay, now that we have our marks, we can go ahead and draw them out. This one's simple because it's right in that groove in there, so that shouldn't be a problem, but we're gonna line that up. That's what I like to use this one for. Okay, here's one of our side panels that we're gonna make a cut for. Always double check your measurements. Okay, it's time to make our cuts. All right, now that we have our panel cut, we're gonna test fit it before we install it. Okay, let's see. All right, looks good to me. This is how you're gonna want it to look. Now, before I start applying liquid nail and my fasteners, I wanna make a dry fit test on the storage shelf itself, see if I run into any problems, because the second you put liquid nail on this panel becomes destroyed. Not the trim, but the panel itself, so you'll have to recut, waste material, do things all over again. So let's test fit that first before we fasten the panels to the trim. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of pinch it down with my fingers, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. If you turn it around, this is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna put this here. That's what it's gonna look like. Before I move on, this is what I want to share with you. You wanted to get these inside that 15-inch, because if you put it out here, exceeding 15 inches, which I've done before because I wanted to get as much as the back paneling as I could at the time, it actually, see how it's flush? I ran into this problem. That's not flush, right? That didn't look good, so I had to restart my whole piece. Keep it within that 15 inches so you can have that flush look. Okay, here's where we're gonna want to apply the panel to the trim. Now before I do that, eyeball where I want it, pinch it down, and we're gonna turn it over, and it's gonna look like this. And what I try to do is try to make it as even as possible as I can based off my cuts. So see, just right there, you kind of have it a little straight, get an idea, find out where you want it, just like that, give it a pinch, and we're gonna flip it over. All right, at this point, we're gonna remove our panel. We have an idea where we want it to be. We're gonna take our liquid nail and apply the liquid nail inside the trim where the panel's gonna lay. Now you don't want to get too close to the edges because the excess can come out the other side. But you do want to be close, right? Just to get the panel locked in. All right, press down. I get a piece of cloth. Try to remove the excess. You can have a clean look, just like that. We're gonna turn it around. Okay, so what you're gonna have is some excess here as well. You're gonna wanna remove that because that is gonna intrude on the caulking. Let me get a new piece of cloth here. So this is what I mean. I don't know if you can see it. You can get some liquid now bleeding through the other side. So we're gonna wanna take our rag, kind of act like it's caulking itself, so there shouldn't be a problem when we apply the caulk. So now we got our panel somewhat installed. We're gonna want to flip this over. We're happy with it. You're gonna want to take the drill with the same bit that you used for the mounting brackets, and we're gonna make some pilot holes. Okay, so now that we have our pilot holes ready, we're gonna take those M6 by 5/8 wood screws that I showed you guys, and we're just gonna put these inside where we drilled the pilot holes. Grab our impact with the impact adapter. We're gonna fasten the panel. And just like that, we have completed our first panel. Next, you're gonna wanna apply the caulking. Okay, we're ready. All right, time for a fit test. Tell me what you guys think. And just like that looks awesome. Okay, now we have our side panels finished. We can apply them to the garage storage shelf. So we could finally get our measurement for the front panel, make those cuts, and put it together. Check that out, guys. Side panels completed. They're looking good. Look at our panel piece. It's inside the posts. And we have a flush seal look. Nothing intrudes. That looks great. Okay, now that we have our side panels completed and test fitted, we can begin working on the front panel. We're gonna want to take the measurement from one end to the other with the side panels applied to the storage shelf. Now I don't have them fastened, but I just have them bumped up against each other. What we're gonna do is take that measurement, and again, we're gonna put the two vertical pieces together, and we're gonna subtract those vertical pieces to our measurement that we just collected. Whatever we get, -5 is gonna be our horizontal cuts. Okay, so we're moving these off to the side, and we have a measurement of 41 1/8. So we're gonna take that 41 1/8 -5. That's gonna give us 36 1/8. That's what we're gonna want our horizontal cuts to be. Okay, now that we have our front trim pieces cut, we can finally put it together. Just like the side panels, you're gonna wanna put it together. Just eyeball it until you put the angle on it. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the mounts so then we can move on to the next step. Okay, for this front panel, we have 33 inches by 37. This is what our panel measurements are. Okay, for this cut, I have no room for error, so if this doesn't fit, I gotta get a whole new piece. So the pressure is on. If it were to be the side panels, we have tons of wiggle room, but not for the final piece. So we're gonna get this carefully measured and carefully cut, and I hope it fits. We're gonna wanna go 37, 33. We're gonna take our straight edge. Time to cut. Okay, now that we have our panel cut, we can test fit onto the trim and just hope that it fits. Let's give it a try. Okay, remember, you want your verticals being the 33. We're gonna test fit this. And there we have it, that looks good. It looks like it fits, so let's get the panel mounted to the trim and finish up these boards. Line it up. Drill our pilot holes. Time to put in our screws, M6 by 5/8. Time to throw in some caulking. Okay guys, just like that, we have finished the front panel and we're gonna test fit it and see how it fits. All right guys, there you have it. We have completed the panels for this, sorry, let me focus here, this storage rack. Now, it's not fastened in. We don't have it bolted, mounted in, but this is what I was trying to explain to you guys. We want that flush look. We don't want these sticking out. This, we can make some adjustments when we start fastening it, but this is what I mean. Look, it's gonna be seamless. It's gonna be clean. Here's the other side. You're not gonna have any flaws. This is that inside right here. I'm scared one of these are gonna fall, but see, you got your mounts inside the railing, or the posts, that is, but it all looks great. Here, I'll do a walk around. Obviously, we're not fastened at the bottom, but you get the idea. All right, I can almost see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna get these downstairs into my paint room. We're gonna get these cleaned up before we paint, and then we'll begin painting. All right, let's get our panels prepared and ready for paint. I'm gonna take a damp washcloth. I have paper towels, but lightly damped. You do not wanna damage your wood or remove any caulking that's drying, so I'm just gonna go over it real quick, clean it up, then run to the paint store and get my paint. So hopefully by the time I come back, these will be ready to be painted. All right, back from the paint shop. I got the paint coat, I'll share that with you guys. One thing I also picked up is these paint rollers. I'm gonna give these ones a shot. The last one I used didn't pick up a lot of paint and didn't apply. This has a lot of seams, as you can see. So you're gonna wanna get into those crevices, so you're gonna want a thicker roller. There's the code right there. We're gonna prepare our roller. Now this is very important that you guys do this, because I didn't do this one time and it left all the white fluffy stuff everywhere. So what you're gonna do is get your painter's tape and just roll it around just like that. All right, now we're gonna take it off. All right, let's get ready for some painting, huh? Okay, we applied the first coat of paint. I'm gonna wait for that to dry, and then we're gonna do the second coat and then do the edges, and we should be done with painting. Okay, so now we painted the panels. I'm gonna let them dry so we can come back and do a little bit of touch up, and then we'll assemble them to the garage storage shelf. Now that those panels are all dry, we're gonna turn them around, and we are gonna paint the top 2 to 3 inches. That way the inside of the display case can match and it'll be all black. Okay, while we're waiting for the panels to dry, now is a good time before we attach the panels to the storage shelf. We're gonna use these 1/2-inch lath screws that's in the material list, and we are going to drill some holes into the posts so we can attach our panels onto the storage shelf. And we're gonna wanna get every side that a panel is gonna be on. So let me show you where I drill these holes at. So if you look in here, what you're gonna wanna do is drill on this big part right here of the hole. Now what I'm gonna do is actually drill a hole at the top and at the bottom. Now you can drill in the middle, but I haven't had any problems with where I put the mounting bolts so far. So we're gonna go ahead and drill these holes. With the holes we just made, I don't know if you can see it, but it's really sharp. Knock them out. There you go. Now we don't want to cut ourselves, and we want a flush mount onto the statue case, and that's what you do, so be careful. Now comes the fun part. I am going to put my panel down, make sure that you know which one is top to bottom. That is my top, and it's time to mount the storage shelving to the panel. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do that. We're going to take our impact, have our screws ready, tilt it like so. This is where we can make our adjustment, how flush we want it at the top to drill our first fastener. Okay, at this point it's a 2-person job, so ask for help. Thank you for the quick response there. And now for the final panel, like that. Lean this forward, we're gonna put it right on, right there. Perfect, wire this up. We're gonna go up in 3, 2, 1. Okay guys, it is the following week. The only thing left to do with these display cases is to apply the shelves. Everything else so far is done, and I just wanted to show you guys the finished product. Look at that. Would you look at that? Isn't that the perfect statue display case for your statues? Isn't that what you would want? Look at that. Now I have a couple other ideas. As you can see, I have transformers here. I'm trying to get with a woodworker that's gonna help me make the Transformers Decepticon, Predacon, Autobot symbols. I would like to put them in the middle, really big, you know, just displaying. Let me see. There's the Decepticon signal. How cool would it be if it was right there? Just like a huge Decepticon symbol or a Predacon symbol. It would just look absolutely awesome. But check out these shelves, guys. What do you guys think? Those look freaking awesome, and I felt comfortable putting my statues on them, knowing that these are 1,000-pound stronghold display cases. And well, there you guys have it. Like I said, I'll have all the links to everything I used for this display case down below in the description. All the tools I put in the earlier part of the video. There will also be a budget breakdown for everything. So to me, this was a lot cheaper. Yes, it took time to build them, but I am way more happier building these huge display cases that matched the display than buying an expensive pedestal that looked kind of flimsy and, to be honest, wasn't as appealing as what these are here behind me. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys oh so much. Please give me a big thumbs up, like and subscribe if you like content like this, and please join me as I continue to grow my collection. But until next time, guys, thank you everyone. Peace.